Yes, I know YouTube. We're live.
I can't
I
fool you,
love it.
can I?
I love it. It tries to tell me we're live, and I'm like, I'm sitting here.
It's this close to tricking you.
Is it okay with you if I message you my PayPal.me link really fast so you can put it in the description if anybody wants to donate?
Sure.
Okay. I'm not expecting anybody to, but just in case they feel like it. That way it's direct, if you know what I mean, because
Yeah.
it's streaming to your channel. So
Sounds good.
awesome. Yeah, I just sent that over to your Twitter.
Hey, John, how you doing? Thanks for joining. So what you looking for over there, Calvin?
I was trying to mute it. I'm like,
You don't want it vibrating the whole time?
What?
You don't want it vibrating?
No, I don't also need to hear myself like 5 seconds after I've said something. It's like a really weird feeling. I hate it.
It's half the fun.
No, because then we get that irritating feedback loop. You don't need that.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're great.
Okay, we just hit 10 o'clock now.
Okay, we want to start the show?
Yeah, might as well. We got 3 people watching, so that's about good.
Fair enough.
Oh, my computer's getting mad at me because I turned off my that drive. It's yelling at me now.
And in 3 seconds, Jimmy's computer's going to self-destruct. I'm saying that I dropped my phone. I cannot win.
Payback.
Hey, you never checked your messages yet. I can see that.
Hey, Alex, how you doing? We got Rick in the house too. How you doing?
Hey, it's party. We got 3 people. We got Rick. Okay, it's party. We're done.
Party now. Where's the kazoo thing? So go, you know.
Oh man.
Let's see here. So today's topic is YouTube creating unrealistic expectations in 3D printing? And Calvin and I were going back and forth yesterday on what we're going to talk about, and I just figured that would be a good subject for us to kind of enter our thoughts on, since we're kind of the ones responsible for it.
We're like
all the good stuff. We don't show you the art that we come home to, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was printing this up this afternoon, and it came loose from the print bed.
Really?
That.
You mean your printer actually has things go wrong from time to time? It just doesn't like magically always work?
No, and the amazing thing is, you'd be surprised how many people will say, "Oh, what a horrible printer. I wouldn't have that printer because it is just horrible. Any printer that just fails like that, it's a piece of garbage." No, it's not the printer's fault. It's my fault.
That's when you turn around and ask them how many times their paper shredder at home jams and their office copier jams, and then tell them it's a horrible, crappy machine and they should get rid of it. If they apply the same logic to it, you know, then it makes total sense just to get rid of it because it's garbage.
I liken the videos that people do on YouTube as kind of a showcase. You know, you don't take and do really horrible project of any type and present that to the public as, look at me, I'm a failure. You want to take and put your best foot forward. So, you know, there's times when you do a video that something goes wrong, you just reprint and hope for the best. And if it turns out, then that's what you release. You're not going to release so much the one that just completely just.
Or if you release that, you then release what went wrong along with it, how you fixed it, and then you show the right one.
Right.
If you decide to release it. And I mean, I'll put it this way. I have a lot of bloopers of flubbed lines, failed projects, and just randomness that happens, like camera falls over and stuff. But it's like, when you put that out there, obviously you're saying it's a blooper reel, or this is, like behind the scenes what went wrong. But obviously when people are watching that, they're watching it for the comedy factor of watching what went wrong. They're not watching it as, wow, this person's amazing at building a project. There's that differential there. Or if you're releasing something with a failure, you're using it as a learning experience to learn off of, but you're not just putting that up there as, this is my project and this is where it ends, and then everybody thinks you're an idiot. So there's a different, if you decide to put a failure in there, use it as a learning experience to show what went wrong. But usually we just decide not to put it in there because, as it is, at least in my opinion, my videos are long enough that if I threw all my failures in there, it'd be a 30-minute long video and nobody would want to watch it. They just want to see what went right. And then if there was any major boo-boo you made, you just mention it really quick and you move on. Right. Nothing groundbreaking there.
Alex just said that he likes how Joel shows his fails. And that's one thing I do really like about Joel. He's not afraid to show his failures. And just like what was it, last year sometime, I had that one video where it showed all the different failures I had. And you'd be surprised how many people said, oh, that's that machine. That machine is just horrible. No, it's just, that's the nature of 3D printing.
It's the nature of any manufacturing process. There are going to be failures.
Right. And then plus there's a certain learning curve. When you first buy a 3D printer, if you get one that's working, or you've been fortunate enough to build a kit and it's working really good, you have this, what's it called? Kind of like this honeymoon period where you can do no wrong. It's like, oh, I can print without supports and it came out perfectly fine. Or I didn't put any glue on the bed and it stuck perfectly fine to the glass. And then there's this point where all of a sudden all the newness wears off and then the reality starts hitting. It seems like everything just falls apart.
No, it's totally true. It's like, just because something worked one time does not mean it will work every time. I mean, for it to be, quote, scientifically accurate that it's a viable method, it has to work repeatably over a number of times using the same scenario. So yeah, there's a lot of times where, I'll be honest, pretty much blind luck is what gets you through a print. But just because blind luck got you through the print that one time, or just because you managed to get yourself home even though you're really tired and practically falling asleep at the wheel, doesn't mean you should repeat doing that again just because you got lucky that one time. You kind of get where I'm going, is just because it worked one time does not mean you should keep doing it that way. Try and do it better,
Yeah. Like you had a little bit too much to drink, but you still made it home anyway, even though you don't remember how.
Yeah. Or you kind of get what I mean. It's like you did something really stupid, you somehow survived, but that does not mean just because you survived that one time, you should just keep on being stupid all over again because, oh, well, it worked that one time, so I'm just going to keep doing it again. It's the same with that. It's like, I feel like, and this is just based off my experience, when you tell people, oh, I'm a machinist, or oh, I'm a welder, or oh, I know 3D printing, they're like, wow, those machines are like so fast, in like 5 minutes they made something, and I'm just like, oh, here we go again.
You're talking about the American chopper scenario?
Yeah, like when they built a chopper that took like 3 months in an hour, and people are all like, dude, they're so fast. And you're like, that's like months of work right there.
My favorite is when they CNC one of the wheels, and it took 13 hours for them to machine it, but everybody sees it done in a matter of about 2 minutes.
Exactly. And they don't see any of the setup work. They don't see any of the deburring work, any of that stuff. They just see machinist dude puts part in machine. Jason Poole puts wheel blank in machine. Jason Poole pushes start on the Haas VM2SS. The Haas VM2SS goes, Marr! And in 2 minutes, Haas VM2SS magically flips the part over, polishes the whole thing, plates the whole thing, and wow, here we have Vinny putting it on the chopper. Senior comes out. Oh, that thing looks amazing. That looks great. I'm going to go back to my office now. Oh, life is great.
Wait a minute. There's Polly.
I mean, Mikey just walks in like he always does, like 3 hours late. Oh, what's going on that I like totally missed out on because I'm Mikey and I'm awesome. Who wants pizza?
I see we have Chris in the house. Dotson.
Shut up. So Chris, are you gonna come join us on this crazy stream? Because we need like a third party to like totally crash the party. But no, going back to the whole way things are portrayed on TV, it's frustrating for me just because, just in the general scheme of manufacturing, it portrays it as this thing where you literally snap your fingers and things come into existence. When, for me, I know that when I look at something, I go, wow, that's a couple hours of work right there, just in setup, let alone whatever production method they used. I mean, it's like, I look at certain things and people don't realize I might have spent an hour setting something up to run it for 5 minutes, and that's it. But that's just the way it goes. That's why it is. That's part of the reason why I haven't done very many machining videos, is because literally it takes me like an hour to set up the camera, set up the machine, hope the thing runs fine on camera, because usually it's like a one-take deal, and then clean up. So there's a good example of why I, kind of playing into this whole thing of, if I show stuff, you're seeing a very, very, very tiny segment of what it takes to make something. And sometimes I feel like that's not portraying the whole true story, which is why it's not that I'm against doing machining videos and stuff. It's just that's why I haven't released any yet, because I just don't have time to do it. And I'm trying to figure out a way that allows me to accurately portray the time involved without making it a 3-hour-long video of me running around the garage finding things, putting in the machine, setting it up, and doing all kinds of boring stuff that nobody wants to see. That's all part of the process. It's a little bit like that with a 3D printer, only it's more like you just got to wait a couple hours for your print to pop out and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the YouTube thing that we're talking about. Is there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that if we can't show it to the general public, because nobody would want to watch it. It'd be like,
or we just get
boring program.
That, or everybody would just rake us over the coals in the comments because somehow they're magical printing geeks and they can tell us how to fix it through the internet. That's the other thing. It's also, given the way the internet is, if you post up things that went wrong, get ready to get a lot of hate mail from people. Kind of like what you had.
There's a lot of the newer, those that are new to 3D printing, that they go and they buy a 3D printer, they go and they get it set up, and then they start coming to the realization of, okay, now there's settings in the slicer that I have to set up. And so they'll say, send me your profile. Okay, so I can send them my profile. The thing is, my profile works on my printer. You can have the exact same printer and it will not print the same with the same settings. Every printer is just a little bit different. It has that little sweet spot that you have to search for and find.
Exactly. I mean, or even in that scenario, the first layer height that you run could be different than somebody else, because somebody else used cardboard to set their first layer height, or a business card, and you used paper. All of a sudden, the print's going to fail potentially right there, just because there's no real repeatable profile that you're working off of to set your bed height. There's so many variables. I mean, it's like, there's good benchmarks that most slicers come with, but you have to remember that's an approximation. They're just basing their numbers off averages that work, but don't be scared to go up and down from that, But I feel like so many people, just in any hobby, period, and I'm going to bring model trains into this because this is one where I have talked to a lot of people at shows who think that which is partly what has inspired some of my upcoming videos when the Yosemite Shortline ON30 modular train club that I belong to is doing work days and stuff. That's the reason why I started to film things, is I wanted to show people just how much work goes into the layout, because everybody thinks literally you just drive to Billy Bob's hobby store, buy the off-the-shelf 4x8 starter train set, throw it on a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and all of a sudden trains just run around it perfectly, and the scenery somehow, like, you water this like grass mat or something, and like mountains grow up and stuff. It's like people have like such unrealistic expectations of what goes into it, and it's like, the reality is you spend a lot of time fiddly diddly tweaking stuff to get the track laid right, to get everything working right, to make sure it's not going to derail, make sure there's not any kinks. You know, there's so much little effort. Once you're done, as long as you don't do anything stupid, it's going to be fine. But it's all that fiddly diddly setting up work that people don't realize that gets them frustrated, because they went into it with an unrealistic expectation. So I try and tell people, I'm like, I'm not trying to scare you off here when I say this, but be prepared to spend a lot of time being very nitpicky about things and being very precise about things, because it'll pay off in the long run. I'm speaking from hard-learned experience here. Same thing applies to the 3D printers. I was just bringing something else in merely because it is kind of an across-the-board problem, and that was the most relevant thing I could think of that's very, very sensitive, like a 3D printer, to things not being done right, things not being set up right, things not working right, you know.
Rick says, geez, I had a mountain layout that came right out of the box and it worked.
I'd love to see that one. Maybe you bought like one of those like micro cigar box Japanese layouts or something like that. Those things are sick.
They are.
Those things are like, it's on my list of things to do eventually on the show, is build like a tiny, tiny little layout in a box. But
so when are you going to do the suitcase build?
I actually found, let me go get it really fast. Where'd it go?
Yeah, it looks like we lost Calvin. Oh, well. Oh, maybe
no, I'm still here. Just give me a second. I don't have a light in my closet, and I don't feel like dragging my phone in there.
Next thing you know, he's going to pop in from on top of the camera.
I know it's somewhere.
I'm trying to figure out what's that bottle back there? It looks like it's supposed to be isopropyl alcohol, but that's got a different color to it.
Yeah, you'll see why in an upcoming video. I use it to wash out my brushes.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you've been, you know.
No. No, I've had this box that Grandma gave me a long time ago. It's like some, I don't know, cigar box or something like that. It's like a nice big box, but you could probably build something decent inside there.
Nice.
Yeah, let me see how big it is just for fun. Oh, wait, I wrote it inside. 12 by 9.5. So, you know, you could build a nice little loop layout or something like that, you know.
That would be cool. What size train would you go with that one?
Probably something pretty tiny, like maybe HO and 3, like HO narrow gauge, and N scale narrow gauge, like NN3, which runs on Z scale track with Z scale equipment, is just too tiny. But I'd probably do something probably in like the HO size.
Alex said that Gramps got him into the HO trains when he was a kid, but never had the room for a decent layout.
Yeah, one thing I will say, everybody thinks I'm nuts for touting the wonders of narrow gauge. The only reason why I like narrow gauge stuff is just because you can fit a lot of stuff into a tiny space, and you're running you could actually run larger equipment at that. I model ON30, which is O scale on HO, and I'm able to do more in a 2x4 foot area than I could do with HO in a 4x8 foot. You know, which sounds completely counterintuitive, but because it's narrow gauge, you can run really tight radii if you're running a tiny locomotive. So it has some advantages. I mean, it's not perfect, but I like the bigger size equipment with the freelance capabilities, as well as the just the larger equipment. Larger equipment's a lot more stable, a lot easier to work on.
Rick says
and
one
the other nice thing
he has with 3D printing is the lack of slice 3R tutorials.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, I get the idea that Slick 3R or Slicer or whatever people want to call it, nobody knows the name of it. Kind of like
I just
nobody
call
knew the name.
Slicer.
Yeah, kind of like nobody knew the name of XYYZ until they figured out it was Zix or whatever the heck it is. You know, I think the problem with programs like that is it doesn't have as much of a internet fan base as say Simplify or Cura does. And I'm not saying it's a good or bad slicer. It's just it doesn't have as much airtime as the other ones do. Be it good or bad, that's your choice.
When I first started out, that's what I used. I used that along with Rippetier was the main program that I used. And then they had that as the slicer for it. And then as time went on, I just learned that I needed more settings. I needed more control over it. There are one of the things that it had that Cura didn't have was the ability of having a higher initial print temperature, and then you could set the rest of the print temperature at a lower setting if you wanted to, or vice versa. And that's one thing I missed about Slicer. The only thing was there's so many other controlled variables I needed in order to make a better print. There's a reason why I went to Cura. And now with the Cura 2.7, it gives you the ability of changing your first layer print temperature compared to your second layer. And it's got a lot of the stuff that Slicer used to have, but it's got way more to it now. It's got an insane amount of settings.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is if you are skilled, you definitely could go ahead and manually adjust print temperatures by hand in the code, but that's a lot of work. And not everybody is experienced enough with G-code or comfortable enough to do that. So yeah, that was one of the things that really sold me on Simplify 3D, besides all the support settings that actually seem to work, was the fact that I can go in there and change any layer, any temperature, any fan speed, and I have instant control. So let's say I'm doing an area that doesn't really need any fan speed. I could just turn the fans off if I didn't want to use them. You know, I can manually set when things go on, but I also have to say all of those extra adjustment variables can also be a pain in the butt if you don't know what you're doing.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people, when they first get into 3D printing, what they don't realize is the learning curve that there is in order to get successful prints over and over and over. I mean, like in the very beginning, when I very first got into 3D printing, you know, I seemed to have a pretty good success rate for about the first week. And then after that, it all fell apart, and I was about a 50-50. And, you know, now I'm back up to now where it's maybe about 95% success rate that way. But, and a lot of it has to do with settings. I mean, you put the wrong setting in and it can just completely ruin your day.
Oh yeah. Believe me, it happens to me all the time. It's frustrating.
I see we got Keith in the house. How you doing, Keith? Are you right over there, or you froze up?
No, I'm there. Sorry, I was replying to Rick and chat.
You're like,
yeah, it's been a long day. Ended up talking to like my environmental science teacher forever after like half an hour plus after class, then going to my mailbox, and then them not being sure if my big old like $100 and some odd worth of 3D prints had shown up, and then it turns out they did, so we just didn't scan it in or something. Then I got home, and then I had to deal with stuff, and then and I'm like, oh, and then I got to welding, and then somebody burned their leg, and it's bleeding, and I gotta go home now. Ah, it's been a heck of a day.
Thank you, Tom. Tom just donated $2.
Now you can go buy more Kool-Aid.
Yes, Kool-Aid and cups for the Kool-Aid.
Hey, did you put my link in the description yet?
What's that?
Did you put the link that I messaged you?
No, I did not. Let's do that.
You're horrible, Jimmy.
I'm a horrible human being. What can I say?
Fine, you made up for it when you bought me Red Robin the other day, so that helps. I will say, that was a good bonsai burger.
Yeah, it was.
That was good.
Want me to put it in the chat, or where you want me to put it at?
You just put it in the description. That's fine. So
okay, you want to go ahead and plug it, and I'll put it in the description right now.
Sure. So okay, nobody needs to donate anything. This isn't like obligatory or anything. But if you want to donate anything to me directly, Jimmy's putting in my little PayPal.me link, and it'd be I'll put it this way: if you decide, that's cool. If you don't, no hard feelings. Either way, totally up to you. If you do, you're awesome. I'm terrible at plugging myself. You get the idea.
Okay, it's in the description.
Horrible. Cool, thanks. No, I just being that we still are alternating the hosting channels. We talked about it and decided it'd be a good idea if he had his donation link and I had mine. So that whole thing.
Yeah, we need your internet's looking really good tonight.
I'm on my phone.
Oh, are you?
And I'm surprised. Yeah. No, I've been using my phone a lot. I just think some days the internet in San Francisco on my phone is beyond abysmal. And some days the internet on my phone is incredible. I think I do know this much though, when there is a game or a big event going on in SF, internet speeds go down to a crawl because everybody is trying to all crowd onto the network, and it's horrid. So,
Alex is saying Kool-Aid is still 10 cents a packet. No, actually, it's a little bit higher than that. Of course, I don't use the actual Kool-Aid to get the one that's from Walmart. That makes like a big picture of it, but it's what do you call it? It's not sweetened with sugar. It's sugar-free. $3 a packet. $3 actually get you about, I think it's 5 or 6 packets.
So that works out to about 50 cents a pack. It's not bad. That's like 4 packs right there.
Yeah.
That's 4 shows worth. Yay!
Rick says, you guys need to do a tutorial on how to use Cura 2.7. I actually have one going to be coming out while I'm in Colorado. I'm leaving tomorrow, by the way, to Colorado, so I'm going to be gone for a little over a week. But I've got some videos already stacked up, and one of them is actually going through Cura 2.7, but it's for the Giant Arm D200, going through the settings on it.
It's pretty sweet. Rick's saying "tang" with a bunch of exclamation points. Yeah, I'll admit.
I haven't had tang in years.
It makes San Francisco's disgusting tap water taste a bit better. I'll put it that way.
Isn't tang what the astronauts get before they go up?
I think that's an urban legend.
That's an old joke.
Rick, I could do a simplified 3D video. I thought about doing one, but I just didn't know if there was going to be any real interest in it because I didn't know if anybody else had necessarily done videos on it, and mine would be specific to my machinery, but I do need to come out with a Thingomatic video at some point, so I think I'll do when I get around to the Thingomatic videos again, which I'm horribly behind on, but machine needs some love, as always. I think I'll do...
Chapman has just started recording a tutorial series for Kiss Slicer. I never heard of that one.
Neither have I. But if I do a simplified 3D video, it'll probably be for how I set up the Thingomatic, which would be similar for any old machines that run .x3g files. So it'd be geared more towards that. But I'd still explain the basics of layer heights and things like that. But it'd definitely be more of a focused tutorial versus a general one, if that makes sense.
Alex said he grew up on Tang.
I think I had it only like once or twice as a kid. I probably didn't even have Kool-Aid as a kid. Horrible life.
You know what was funny is I remember getting Tang. And when I was a kid, anytime I drank anything with orange to it, I would get canker sores like crazy. Just, I don't know why, but I just never, I loved the taste of it, but I just could not drink it.
That is weird.
Of course, now that I got older, I figured out the cure to that. Jalapenos. I'm not joking. You know those jalapeno poppers that you get Burger King?
Uh-huh.
No, they used to have them at Burger King. They used to have the really good ones there, but they quit selling them at Burger King. Now you have to go to a place like Jack the Box to get it. But if you get that, and if you get some marinara sauce, it will burn them out and you won't have them anymore.
Home remedies with Jimmy. That's what we're just gonna like title the next show with the big old, disclaimer at the beginning. This is a folk remedy, so take it with a grain of salt. And here we go.
It's like if they pull a tooth and it's bleeding, you take and use a tea bag, and it'll stop the bleeding.
Never tried that.
Yeah, they'll actually do it. They'll congeal it.
Makes sense though. Chris said Tang used to be the bomb, and Rick said Tang still is. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like if you grew up on something, it would, be cool. But since I didn't grow up with it and I had a terrible childhood, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'll put it this way. I tend to not drink that sort of stuff very much. I kind of have an addiction to those LaCroix flavored sparkling water things, but that's only because it tastes like you're drinking a soda without all the sugar, because it's just carbonated water with some flavoring, natural flavoring, which is actually kind of nice.
Yeah.
I figure if it's only like that, then I don't feel guilty like drinking 2 or 3 in a day, because it's just flavored seltzer water effectively, so it's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But wow, we are way off topic again.
I know, man, Calvin.
It's all my fault.
Come back.
Really? I can talk about 3D printing?
It all went to pot when you wanted to talk about the bonsai burger and your PayPal.
I am brain fried tonight. Wow, it is showing. But yeah, I mean, I will say this much: there's 2 main reasons why, and I said this on my official Make It with Calvin Twitter account. The 2 reasons why I haven't really done time lapses on my videos, and there's actually a good reason why. 1, it's time. Back before I had the $60 action camera, tying up one of my GoPros that I used for filming to shoot a time lapse was a pain. Setting it up was a pain. Lighting was a pain. In short, a long time ago, I pretty much cooked the LEDs inside my poor Ultimaker because I built like a nice enclosure for the thing for doing big ABS prints. That thing got stupidly hot inside, but the problem was it cooked the LEDs to the point that it didn't work anymore. So I just took them out, and then I need to go back and do the Thingomatic style, print a nice little angle bracket that goes in there, style of lighting on the Ultimaker, stick that in there so the thing's got good lighting, and just go ahead and film prints in it. But I just haven't had time to do that. I haven't felt like it. And the other reason why is I just felt like throwing a time lapse in there. 1, it added extra time to the video, and I really didn't know if people really cared to watch the machine running or not. But the other thing was I felt it kind of gave the wrong impression of the manufacturing process. Even though I'd say, a couple hours later I came back and the prints were done, I still felt like people would think that it was like, oh, poof, it just magically came into existence in like 2 minutes because that's what it did in the time lapse. And I felt like it was kind of giving the wrong impression, and because I didn't really know how much I didn't really want to take the time to calculate what my speed up rate was. I wasn't going to put in the corner like 100 times actual speed or anything like that, you know. So that was kind of the main reason why I haven't done time lapses, is partly a practical standpoint and partly just a, is this really benefiting people to watch the time lapse standpoint, just from the status of you know, giving the wrong impression, you know.
I personally like time lapses, and I think there are other people who like them as well. Um, I mean, that's one of the things that made me a huge fan of Barnacules, was the fact that he always did the time lapses on all the 3D prints he did. And I just thought that that was just a really cool way of showing how the part was created. And that's one reason why I always have where it has that little scroll up thing where it'll say, you know, at the bottom it'll say how long it took in reality, and, you know, kind of the printer settings and stuff like that. That's another thing I really liked about Joel's, especially toward the beginning. He did a lot of the time lapse, but I noticed here lately he's kind of shied away from the time lapses, and he just shows the parts now.
Yeah. I mean, I'll put it this way. Once I get the machine set up back again with the proper lighting and I get it set up to where I can just push go and it shoots the time lapse and all that easy stuff, I do want to get back into the time lapses. It's just, there was a multifold reason why I didn't do it. But that said, I do have to agree, I did really enjoy Barnacules' videos. Even though they might have been on the long side, I did enjoy, especially not owning a 3D printer, watching the 3D printer printing. One thing I have thought about doing is just offering separately, along with the main video, just like an unlisted video of the time lapse of building the part as its own separate entity, in case people want to see that, where I like give the spec at the beginning and then it runs the print and you see the print when it's done. So that way, if people want to see the time lapse, they can see the time lapse, and if they just want to see the video, they can see the video. You know, it kind of caters to both markets, and then just maybe make like a playlist like time lapse videos or something like that. You know, but it's something I've thought about doing, but I just haven't done it yet. It's now at this point, it's more of a time issue more than anything, now that I'm juggling school and personal life stuff that's not getting any easier. You know, it's mostly at this point just time reason why I haven't sat down and been like, oh, let me just, you know, make up totally separate time lapse videos. Although I do the speed design videos, that's easier though, because it's just screen capture. But even then, kind of leading to that whole 3D, use YouTube creating unrealistic expectations in 3D printing, I'm going to steer this in the design segment as well. I don't have anything against speed design videos, but at the same time, I really hope people don't think that we work that insanely fast on the computer. I'm mostly just putting them up there because I hope somebody enjoys them. But I know there are some people who actually really enjoy watching people designing things in a very fast rate so they can see how they go about doing it. But at the same time, I really hope people don't think that we're that fast in real life. But I do hope it kind of shows people how it takes multiple iterations to get to where it was. And there's times where you'll see me start out with something and work on it and adjust it and adjust it and adjust it, and it's good. You know, I kind of feel like it, you know, just in general, us in the community, and I'm not singling anybody out, and I'm not saying that we have necessarily done good or bad. I think it's very much a case by case, person watching it by person watching it basis. But I feel like we in the community need to help season people's expectations to be more realistic of what's actually doable versus what they think is reasonable regarding machines, designing, maintenance, operations, all that stuff, if you understand what I mean.
Right.
You know, make it so that way, not that we're going to make people wizards overnight. That's completely impossible. It's like riding a bicycle or driving a car. The more you do it, you just learn subtle things as you go along, if you know what I mean. But
Right.
I feel like it's our duty, if we really want to try and quote help the community, we need to try and at least give people a realistic expectation of what's doable, how hard it is, and then leave the final choice up to them if they feel it's worth it or not to
Right.
invest in a machine or not. That whole thing. Wow, that was really
Everybody's
long.
taking the Kool-Aid and Tang and running with it. Rick, so how does Kool-Aid and or Tang affect the first layer of 3D printing? Also, is there a setting for Cure or Simplify 3D for Kool-Aid or Tang?
You know what would actually be hilarious to do would be to take Kool-Aid because it has sugar in it and smear it on a print pad and let it go sticky and then try printing on top of it as a bad adhesion aid. Just
Tang. Use Tang for that.
okay, because it's stickier.
Yeah.
Okay. The next time I buy Tang, I might just do that. I need to get a new glass bed for my Ultimaker anyways, because I want to have one lying around to test stuff with, like Magic Goo. Haven't done that yet. I don't have a
Sunny
spare
Delight.
glass. What?
Go with Sunny Delight.
Oh gosh. Do they even make that still?
I'll guarantee it would stick to that. I guarantee it.
Wait, Cactus Cooler. How about that? My only memories of Cactus Cooler are October 31st at Blessed Hope Chapel in Simi Valley, California, getting beat up in a Jolly Jumper and drinking Cactus Cooler and going, my gosh, this stuff is awful. Oh, man. Oh, we got Curtis in the chat. What's up, Curtis?
We do. How you doing, Curtis?
Dude, no need to be sorry. If you had technical difficulties, I actually feel bad for you.
I think we've all been having technical difficulties.
Yeah, my brain is having technical difficulties if you can't tell. I go climbing through my closet to find boxes that are like sitting right outside the closet. I go off on rants on Kool-Aid and Datsuns and, you know.
You just said the D word. You just opened up the can of worms.
I said it, not you. That's the difference.
I said it. Nobody jumped on it.
That's because Curtis wasn't in yet.
Dotson.
So Rick said it's still around, Cactus Cooler. Yeah, it's I've seen it at 7-Elevens and stuff. I'll admit sometimes I get like random drinks like that just for the sake of reliving the past and going, wow, that is nasty.
What is Cactus Cooler?
It's like an orange pineapple soda. It tastes good, but they dump way too much corn syrup in it. I'll put it that way. Like it would actually have been a good drink if they didn't make it so stinking sweet.
In that case, it probably would work really good for a bed adhesion.
Yeah, but it wasn't the original suggestion by Rick. But I seriously, if I do buy Tang, I will try that just for comedy's sake. Just to see if it works. Once I get a new glass pad.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be hilarious to do. Like trying out like just stupid ways to hold prints down, like double-sided tape maybe, sodas. Oh geez, I don't know. Spray glue, like Super 77 spray adhesive or something like that, you know. I don't know.
Molasses.
What?
Molasses.
Oh gosh. This poor printer is gonna become so filthy. It's gonna like put plastic all inside the thing. Okay, we're good to go now. Oh man.
What was that we were talking about the other day? We were talking about Magic Goo. And I said, yeah, it reminds me of that mucilage or mucilage or whatever they call that stuff. And you're like, what? How many of you guys remember that glue? It was coming like a little bubble with a little rubber tip to it, and you'd like put it on paper or whatever.
Don't remember.
Don't remember.
Nope.
Before your time.
Nope. I remember glue sticks. Oh, good old glue sticks. That and sticking markers in cups of water. Man, Sunday school was so awesome. Rick said molasses will liquefy as it is heated. Yeah, that is a good point. I was probably actually just going to run it on a cold bed, just because I know that there was a risk of whatever sugar-based compound either trying to caramelize or becoming liquidized or just not coming off the bed, period. And I don't want to do that. Especially if it's a nice piece of borosilicate glass. I really don't want to do that.
Just wipe it down with corn syrup.
Let's use cactus cooler. Oh, man. Yeah, we are just full of bad ideas.
That would be so evil. Your printer would hate you.
It would hate me. It would probably jump out the window.
You know I'm going to end up doing it, don't you?
Along with us setting faux 3D printers on fire and stuffing them full of classified materials that make them look more epic on camera for the final episode, for the final part when we do Unpimp Jimmy's Crappy Printer, you know. Like those.
Yeah, stick up my fireball. Stick it right there. I actually keep it right by my printer now, all the time.
Oh, man. Hey, I don't know if any of you guys remember the older V-dub commercials with that German dude and chick, and the guy's like, do you know what time it is? And there's like some totally like horribly wannabe gangster dude like, no. And the guys are like, time to unpimp your auto. And there's like some awful car sitting there, like horrid, totally rice burner car. And then like the thing I think gets flung in a trebuchet or smashed by a shipping container, and then they like wheel in the new V-dub, and the dude's all like, we just dropped it like it's hot. V-dub representing Deutschland. So I told Jimmy, we totally have to do our own version of that where I come up dressed up as I don't know what, Jimmy's dressed up as I don't know what. We'll make Jimmy C-dub and I'll be Jimmy or something like that. And then I'm all like, hey Jimmy, you know what time it is? And Jimmy's all gonna be like, no, I don't give a crap. And I'll be like, time to unpimp your printer, and then like plug the power cord in, and the printer goes up in like this shower of sparks or something. And then I wheel in like whatever better no-name printer that's probably just like one of the burn props that we haven't used yet, and be like, we just dropped it like it's hot. Introducing the C-dub, the best printer ever. If we do that, it'll be so funny.
And I just throw a fireball at it and watch it explode.
I will admit,
you get the same effect when turning into TiVo.
I'm not going to name any names for the sake of a lawsuit here, but I am going to say it might or might not be poking fun at unnamed printer companies whose machines may or may not have a reputation of being a little bit less than perfect on the UL safety ratings. I'm going to leave it there.
That's a long way of putting something sucks.
I'm not going to name the name of the company, but I think I know what people... I think people get the gist of what I'm talking about here. Chris just said, put the fireballs into a skeet shooting thrower and hit them with flamethrowers.
That would be hilarious.
Poof. Hey, Jimmy, let me get my can of WD-40 and my lighter. Okay, I'm ready now. Dad comes walking out. The heck are you guys doing out here?
Named after a spider?
and a deadly spider at that. That is probably... I'm not even going to go there. That's just... bad. Not smart.
Or flare guns, I guess. That was everything works better with napalm. Yes, it does.
Alex said, print a container for some Tannerite and shoot it on the range. I don't even know if that stuff's legal in California or not. That, or if you buy it, it's probably like 50 million bucks, and you have to fill like 20 pages of background check information out, or some stupid thing like that. Get off with some thermite.
As soon as you took it out to the range, that would be a whole new level of no.
Oh yeah. I mean, my friend and I got yelled at over the PA system once because we, quote, fired like multiple rounds in too fast of a succession on a semi-automatic weapon. It's like, what the heck? What do you mean we can't do rapid fire? I mean, you had to like
was playing with the info.
Rick goes, what about a new 3D printer called Pit Viper? Oh geez, this is going downhill.
That's definitely another one that company would make. I guarantee it.
Then they'd come out with the Puff Adder and the Cobra and the Black Mamba.
But the Pit Viper would be cheaper because instead of having an actual circuit board, you'd have to solder all the parts into the circuit board.
And if you're lucky, half the parts show up.
Hey, it came with 3 resistors. Wait a minute, only says I'm supposed to use 1. Which one? They're all different.
Rick goes, breathing will soon be banned in California. Yeah, at the rate that we're going. Okay, one thing I will say that my environmental science teacher actually feels bad for you on is I told her, we were talking after class, and I just kind of offhand mentioned your predicament with kind of like dumb rules and regulations, and I'd mentioned some of the issues that you have as somebody who, part runs a portable sandblasting company, and I told her about your problems, and she goes, those are some of the dumbest rules I've ever heard of in my life. She goes, that's where we're really screwing up. I'm like, oh, thank God somebody understands. We're good.
Well, here's the thing. The guy where they based all the science off of the deal, the guy that came up with all this stuff saying, okay, this is the way it works, turned out that the guy didn't even have a real degree in whatever it was he was studying. And it was on top of that, it was achieved through a online college that didn't exist. So pretty much it was so defunct in the beginning, but they made it law.
Shows you the geniuses that run our country. I mean, our state. Not bad.
So is TiVo predictable enough to be used as a time delay fuse?
No.
Yes.
No. If I want a time delay fuse, I'm using something that I know is going to burn at a set speed and it's going to go off in a set time.
Like I said, yes.
Oh, gosh.
I'm here. How you doing?
Panzer said, just wait until they get the marking round wrong way for the voltage selector on the PSU, but it said 110 volts. I'll put it this way. I plugged in a power supply that was set to 230 or 220 into a 120 outlet, and I got half the output, which is understandable. But if you plug it in on 120 into a 220, you get the idea.
Yeah, you plug a 110 into a 220 and you've got fried electronics.
Mm-hmm. If you're lucky.
There was a gentleman a while back on Facebook that blew out 3 or 4 power supplies and said they keep going through them. And so everybody's making all these different suggestions. I'm like, did you happen to check the selector switch? And he's like, no. And that's what it was. They were sending it to him set on 110, and he lives where they need 220. And so it was frying them every single time.
Oh,
that was like the 5th one.
That sucks. At
Yeah.
my old prosthetics job, we actually had a power supply. It was just like one of those, enclosed slash like those. When I say closed but open, it's like the standard. You can buy them from everybody on eBay. Like 24-volt, 48 amp power supplies in the aluminum case with the screw terminals. We had one that blew out the power capacitor twice before we just decided to toss the thing, because one time we were running the thing and all of a sudden there's just like smoke pouring out of the bottom of the printer. I go running on over there in a panic, yank the power cord and yank the power supply out and find out it's the power supply. Open it up, figure out we could probably replace the capacitor, and then about a week later, the replacement capacitor blew, so we decided just to replace the whole unit. To this day, I have no clue what was causing that, but yeah, I have had power supplies fail. But this one was set to the 120 mode. I think there was something actually wrong with the power supply itself that caused the power capacitor, like a big old capacitor, to literally explode.
Man.
It was nasty. It sprayed like capacitor juice everywhere, smelled really bad. I was in a panic. My boss, like one of my coworkers, was like on a phone call while I'm running across the room with holding the power supply by the cable, throw the thing in the alleyway behind us and go, is it gonna catch on fire? Okay, I don't think it is. Okay, I'll just leave it here to smoke for 5 minutes. Let me go check on the printer. That was a bad day. I mean, I literally thought the machine itself was going to catch on fire because it was a CNC roast stock made from that melamine stuff. So, yeah, you kind of, it was bad.
Magic new blue smoke.
You have not worked with electronics until you've released the blue smoke in one way or another.
The blue smoke is really cool, but the only problem is you only release it once.
I've yet to figure out how to put it back. And it really sucks when you magic blue smoke like expensive electronics that you spent a long time putting in something. I speak from experience.
Rick says, should I take my G-Tech aboard the ship and plug it into 440?
Do so at your own risk.
That's the unpimp your printer right there, isn't it?
It's unpimp your printer Rick style. Randall said big caps usually hiss and spit, but the little ones go off like firecrackers. Yeah, this one did the hiss and spit and release who knows what nasty disgustingness into the air that I had to breathe in on my way to go deal with the printer. Oh well, I'm still alive at this point.
At this point. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, man. You actually did fall, didn't you?
That was not a fake fall. That was a real fall off my stool.
That hurt.
I know how to land on a hardwood floor. Oh man.
Alex says he's got a couple boards that smoke that need to be fixed.
You need to shove the smoke back in them. We get to figure that out.
Yeah, I think you have to blow really, really hard, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
Well, I sure hope that some of my the people I invited to come on would come on, but they didn't.
Shame on them.
Oh well.
Oh, before we go any further, we should give a big old happy birthday shout out to Jeff over at the Print 3D channel.
Yes, happy birthday, Jeff.
I couldn't do the stream without giving him a happy birthday.
I know.
He's cool.
And congratulations to Joel on your 100,000 subscriber silver YouTube play button. That is awesome.
Fast. Considering some people literally have to wait like months to get the thing, that was impressive.
Yeah, it was. I wonder how long it's going to be before Angus gets his.
Good question.
Or is YouTube going to say, "Oh, we're going to wait till you come out next year to Maker Faire, and we're going to give it to you when you get here"?
He'll probably have reached like 1 million at that point.
They're going to look at the shipping costs. They're going to be like, you think you can wait till you come out?
I'll put it this way. If I ever hit a big number, I'd probably just machine my own play button just for the heck of it. You know,
Alex said that wasn't Jerry up to 500,000 before he got his? I think he was, if I remember right.
YouTube used to literally take, and they still do, take eons to send out your play button. I think you had to like request it, and then they had to verify it, and then they had to do who knows what, and then send it to you.
I just assumed they automatically sent it to you once you reached it.
Not from what I've heard.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I'm still at like 710 subscribers, so how do I know? I'm just basing it off of what I've heard.
True.
I mean, you're 3.2K. You're like, I'm still blown away how all of a sudden you went like with like subscribers, and I'm like, what the heck?
I don't know what happened either. It's just that hairy lion video. That thing just keeps on growing.
Oh yeah. I'm still waiting for my quote hairy lion video, if you know what I mean. Like that video that just like goes nutso.
Yeah, it'll happen.
It'll happen. I don't want to sound contentious or anything, but I'm just bummed it's not the GoPro handle videos, if you know what I mean. Because those were the ones that I thought were going to be like super, super popular because like everybody has an action camera. But no, no. Oh well. I mean, I'm not saying it's, you know, when I did it, I had big aspirations, but I was thinking it was going to be more popular than it was. But I still have to say the first tiny house video that I did with my sister is probably my closest to that, but that was like last Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
that's coming up on almost a year, and it's just about 3,000 views.
Hairy lion with Joel and his coin snorter. That's, I think, is that video right there was the one that got my video noticed, I think.
Probably because the YouTube algorithm saw his hairy lion video, your hairy lion video,
yeah,
and then went, oh, hey, suggestion, and, you know. But to this day, I still vote you had better hairy lion just because your hair on the hairy lion looked like hair. It did not look like mange. And I'm not dissing anybody else's. I'm just saying that yours, for being, you know, a 3D printed hair thing, was the best, just in the hair department, because that was the whole point of it. You could print a lion, that's one thing, but the whole point was you could sculpt the hair, and you're like the only dude who's genius enough to use a comb and actually make it look good.
That was that last one. The first hairy lion, though, I mangled that poor thing.
Well, people were trying. You know, it's not like you expect everybody to just overnight think, oh, let me use a comb while brushing warm PLA plastic.
That last time, that was more of a joke because there's so many people said, why didn't he use a comb? Why didn't he use a comb? So I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and use a comb.
Thank you to all those trolls. Now I know. Chris said it had the hair of a 1983 MTV diva. That was about 8 years before I was born, so I wouldn't even know.
At that time, it didn't matter if it was a diva or a guy. They all had the same hair. Some of the guys had better hair than the women had.
Are we talking afros or mullets?
We're talking mullets. We're talking long hair all the way down to their stinking backs.
I want a mullet. I need a mullet. That's what I need.
What was the lead singer of Whitesnake? I think it was. I think he had supposed to have had like the best hair of all of them.
Oh gosh. I think I figured out what I need to do to make my videos popular. I need to totally rip on Grant Thompson and crazy Russian hacker style of sunglasses, the stupid lab coat, and the black nitrile gloves, which to me are just like totally stupid, and do all my videos like that and just be like, yo, what's up? Not to like necessarily pick on them, but I don't get that style on camera. It just makes you look like some weirdo. I'm sorry. Like, why do you wear black nitrile gloves in every single video? Are your hands like that precious that nobody can see them or something like that? You're not working with hazmat chemicals every time. I don't think.
I was watching him right up until the point where he started hanging out with the Paul brothers. I was like, never mind.
Who are they?
I don't even want to go into that.
Okay. You can tell me afterwards.
I'll send you a link.
Okie doke. No, Curtis. I need a mullet. I need to bring
I
back...
know you do. You need to. You totally need a mullet.
I totally need to bring MacGyver back. There we go. I need the MacGyver look. I need the mullet. I need the stupid vest thing that has like everything you could ever need inside. Heck yeah. I just won't be kissing girls on camera because that's not my style. That's my only complaint with MacGyver is why does he have to like flirt with every single girl he meets in every single episode? It's just not cool.
Rick says he wish he had the hair in 1983 MTV Diva. He could blind people in pictures. Oh, man.
I get the idea that I really should have been born in the 80s, but I wasn't. And it sucks.
Where did I see this? Oh, yeah. Chris says, Calvin, go watch the video for NXS kick.
I'll do that when we're done because I don't have enough bandwidth right now. Brandon's on. What's up, dude?
Hey, Brandon.
Randall says just duct tape. That's all he needed to bring. Yeah, duct tape and some sodium and some water and, all that good stuff.
You need a sponsorship from Aquanet.
I have a bottle of free Aquanet from the Thousand Oaks Toxic Waste Hazardous Reuse Program down in the garage.
Alex says he has pretty awesome hair, or so people tell him.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's got awesome hair, or so they say.
Brandon's got a baby? What?
What? Or does he mean his type? Or does he mean his type A? Maybe that's his baby. No, no offense to you, if you really have a baby, that's awesome. I'm just picking on your printer. That's all. Yeah, he conveniently found everything in the field. That was the other gripple I had. Like, oh, there just conveniently happened to be a bottle of sodium right here, and it conveniently knows how to blow a hole in a wall. Really? That was the case. He did never survive chemistry class in college with Dr. Berg when he put sodium in water, God forbid potassium in water.
I was watching that Mythbusters the other night when they took the mail truck and they poured concrete in it.
Oh, yeah.
And at first, like, oh, wow, it worked. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. The fuse didn't go off on the other batch of dynamite.
Then poor Adam has to, like, climb inside wet cement and stuff. Oh, that was, like, that was bad.
The second time when they lit it off, it didn't go so hot.
It's TV. What do you expect? So Brandon said he sold the Type A. Good for you, dude. Good for you. You deserve better. Darn it!
You're not even drinking. What's up with this?
And I dropped my speaker. It leaned. Oh, gosh.
See that look right there? That's what's going to happen to me someday. He's going to be looking over me like that. It's like, yeah, I told you so.
Thank God Grandma's a heavy sleeper. Oh gosh. No, good. Okay, what I was saying before my phone fell
He
was
does
good
have
thing.
a boy, an 8-week-old boy. Congratulations, Brandon.
Congratulations on the kids, and congratulations on getting a better printer. You deserve better. Your children will thank you in the future when you're not grumpy at your printer. I should make a more no. I like sitting on top of my 5-gallon paint bucket that has filament inside with 6 IKEA Trofast shelving doohickeys on top with my phone leaning against a speaker on my desk. It's perfectly fine.
I'm glad you said it because I thought you meant fiber.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
No, it
man.
was the phone that fell this time. What happens is I needed to plug my phone in because it was dying, so I leaned it up against my speaker. Well, I bumped the speaker and the speaker took a tumble, and well, you guys saw the rest. And then you got to see my light, and it was epic failure. Oh, I think my phone is summing up tonight. It's been going good, and then I've been falling on my face.
It's saying, nah, the bandwidth is too good. Too good. I got to drop myself.
I had a feeling things were going too good, and then they were going to fall on their face. And sure enough.
I mean, last week you were all digitized and all that. This week you're clearer than I am, I think.
I swear, ever since we had problems with using my laptop, that's why I just went straight back to my phone, because at least I knew the internet speed on it would be at least better on a bad day than what my home internet was, because there was no way the home internet could handle the two-way connection, and there was no way I could turn off you coming up on the screen. So I just gave up and was like, oh, I'm just gonna use the phone. I'm glad I did. But
Brandon said it was like a mine shaft.
what was?
I'm guessing when your phone fell.
Oh, yeah. It just fell back, I swear. It's just because of the filming light, it looked like it went. Ah, I'm just giving up right now.
You know you got a 3D printer, right? You can always put yourself on a tripod.
Give up. No, but where's the fun in that?
I'll send you a file. You can make a tripod. Put your phone on that.
That's too easy, Jimmy. No, I have to take some Galvy pipe and some leftover steel that I've got and some brass balls and some plumbing doohickeys and maybe 3D print a part for it, and then build like the world's most overly complicated phone stand. What? That's not better?
Alex says I have minimum internet speed and can do 3 streams at once on various devices.
You're not cool. I'm on AT&T DSL, and I get 0.75 upload speeds if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky.
Brass balls, Chris says.
How do brass balls fit in?
I don't know. It just sounded cool.
No, I actually have balls that are made from 360 grade brass, and I'm going to use 3 of them. So as Tom Lipton, Ox Tools on YouTube would say, it's now got kinematic, so it's self-stabilizing. That's why. There's science to my madness.
Randall says duct tape. Chris says, how do brass balls fit in? Very carefully.
I just said that. I just said why.
I said very carefully.
I gave the explanation. Duh. We are so bad. We are.
I know.
We are horrible.
This stream is going south fast.
At some point, I'm just going to be like, okay, I've said enough and just like walk off.
I might as well just demonetize this video right off the bat.
That's a Good idea.
I actually had it planned that if Jerry would have come on, I was just going to go straight over there and just kill the monetization on it instantly and just go 18 or older.
Oh man, I guess it's like late night TV. You can be a little more loose with what you say. Although I will say everything that I've said has been based off factual stuff. So if anybody wants to nitpick it, that's my disclaimer.
So Alex says he took a piece of cardboard, cut a V into it to hold his phone up. No more problem. Rick says he needs a few screws. Don't we all?
I need more screws than most.
Jerry has a filter. He does?
Is that Miss Barnacle when she's on the stream, or is that when Xander's in the room?
I'm hearing my phone vibrating. I don't know why.
Mine went off. Oh, Alex just oh dude, that phone stand thing. Oh, that thing is like that is gangster right there. Oh my gosh.
What's that?
Alex tweeted out a photo of his fancy phone stand that he came up with. Dude, that thing is gangster. It is incredible.
Really?
Yes, Brandon, that was the buzz from my phone because I got an Instagram notification.
Hey, that is cool.
So who technically is the filter for Jerry then, if he supposedly has a filter? No, my phone will not shake off the table if you blow up Twitter. It's only Instagram and emails and phone calls that get my phone going. So if you know my phone number, feel free to call it.
Wait, would you like his phone number? To the highest bidder right now.
Jimmy's like, and then I pull out my phone and I'm gonna call Calvin until his phone falls over. Oh man.
I think I've only talked to him on the phone twice. The other times when I go to call him, he takes and rejects my phone call.
Wait, when was that? Only time that I know that you've called me is when we went to meet up at Rubio's outside of before we went to the Ultimaker event with Travis and Heather and Curtis. And you called me up because you needed directions on how the heck to get there. And then you somehow found your way down there. That's all I remember. So if anything else happened, I must not have had good memory.
Uh-oh. The bidding's going to be going to Chris. He already posted the majority of your phone number.
That's not my phone number. I'm not a 510 area code.
You're not? Oh, that's
No.
right, because you're from LA.
Yeah. I'm not going to give my area code out, but that's not my area code.
Rick says, so this stream is the reason why you guys gave me unrealistic expectations?
Come on,
See?
dude.
It was clickbait. We got you here, and then we trapped you in this.
Hey, Rick, while you're at it, donate all your money to my PayPal account. Oh, man. You guys are so bad. Oh, man.
Too close to home?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I'll know it when I see it, but I ain't seen it. And I don't think anybody but you knows my cell phone number.
Although I do like Rick's number there. 8675309. You've heard that song before, right?
Nope.
No? Was it Tommy Two Tones, I believe?
Don't know it.
8675309. You know?
No.
Before your time. It was before my time too, but
I'm only 26. Okay, seriously? Yes, Alex, that's the same with me. Nobody has my phone number but all the spam people.
Don't they have all of our numbers?
For literally like 3 months, I'd randomly get like all these recorded phone calls about like fixing your student loan problems. And I'm like, I don't have student loans. Go away.
It's like that thing about Equifax. Oh, they took and they got all of our information. Oh, really? That's funny because I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about all these phone calls they keep getting where they just, answer it, hello, and there's nothing. Oh, what in the world? I understand those are the type that if you call them back, they actually will take and charge your phone. Have you heard about those?
Yeah. My rule of thumb is if it's an unknown number, I just let it go to voicemail.
Yeah.
I figure if it's anything important, they can leave a voicemail, and 9 times out of 10, nothing gets left behind. So right. I figure, well, their loss.
Or when it does, it's, hello, this is the IRS calling. You owe us money. We will call the police and have you arrested if you do not pay up. Go to the nearest Target and give me the gift card numbers. God, I call India way too often.
You just like give Jerry like all those phone numbers and like let him loose with them.
Oh, he rakes them over the coals.
I'll put it this way. I personally am neutral on the whole scam baiting thing just because I feel like it's making light of what's actually a very serious problem, considering that there are people who do get taken for hundreds of thousands of dollars through that. So I guess my only gripe is I kind of feel like it just it kind of sends the wrong impression that it's something that's like humorous without it kind of takes away the seriousness of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I only say that just because there are so many. It's kind of like those email scams that like you'd be amazed how many people fall for. It's like if an individual person decides to mess with them, that's their own thing. But when somebody posts it up as comedy, I just kind of feel like it's in bad taste to all those people who have been screwed over. It could give the wrong impression, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And personally, I don't think it's the most ethical thing to be doing, but that's just me. I'm not here to play the ethics police and thou shalt do this, thou shalt not do this, whatever.
Rick says he has a cousin who retired from the IRS. He arrested people for tax issues. They do. They do, but they also give you plenty of time to get things straightened out.
They give you plenty of warning. They don't just randomly roll up to your house and slap the cuffs on you and tow you away. You pretty much have to be like intentionally making every effort not to play along. And then it happens after multiple warnings. Nope. No comment. No comment.
Okay, do you have a piece of cardboard over there?
No, I actually don't.
Okay, just take that shape that you saw on Twitter and 3D print it.
Fire up Fusion 360. Randall said Jerry's number caused a problem for the actual number holder. That's why phony numbers on TV programs are always 555 question mark question mark question mark.
Yeah. Jenny's number is the name of that song.
Oh.
5675309.
Epic fail. Oh, thanks a lot, Chris. I've had a crappy week leading up to this.
Chris is very proud of his way of holding it.
You guys, I'm not going to discuss it on here, but if you guys went through what I've gone through for the past couple of years, you'd understand why I'm cracking. We'll leave it at that.
I think Calvin needs a drink.
No, Calvin just needs less stress in his life.
Are you talking in third person?
Yes. Calvin is officially losing it.
In that case, Jimmy is going to Colorado this weekend, and maybe, no, I'm kidding.
And then Jimmy's just going to be like, screw this crap. We're not having the Calvin and Jimmy show no more.
We're going to have a Jimmy Smokes a Blunt show.
Sorry, Mom. I feel so good right now. Hey, where's the 7-Eleven? I got me a munchies attack. Hey, they got Cactus Cooler.
Calvin needs to go to more concerts. Yes, he does.
Heck no. Concerts are like super. They're super stressful for me, so that's a no-go.
Okay, so back a few years ago, Greg Kinn Band was playing in downtown San Jose. Remember, I don't know if you remember, they used to have music in the park when they had race week.
Up here.
Really? Oh, okay. Anyway,
I was been only up here 4 years, so.
Oh, yeah, it was before that. But anyway, they would, when they had race week, where they used to have the race cars go around through there, about a week or so before they'd start having the music in the park. And so I went to this concert. It was the Greg Kinn Band was out there. And there was this guy out there selling weed. I mean, up front of the band, he was out there going, woo, Greg Kinn, woo! And he pulled out this nug. And he lit the nug up. Lit it up with a lighter. Yeah, Greg Kinn! Sucking the smoke off this nug. I mean, this thing is huge, right? And the cops are standing there just watching him, just going, it's like, really? And so this guy was just like making a complete idiot of himself. But the whole time he was turning around to the guys, hey, you want to buy some? And they're buying all this weed from him, right? So everybody around us starts pulling out these really nice machined aluminum pipes. And they'd stick the barrel on in there, and they'd light them up, and everybody was smoking, and there was no breeze whatsoever. And it just collected. By the time that concert was done and I got to the car, I had television.
Oh my gosh.
I sat down in the car. I told Beth, I can't drive right now. She said, what's wrong? I said, I'm high.
Oh my gosh, that is so bad. But that is so understandable.
I sat there for probably 30 minutes before everything kind of cleared back up. I said, okay, I think I can drive now. I'm trying to remember where we went, but I guarantee it was a fast food restaurant on the way home. I remember ordering a lot of food, and I remember the next day I had no back aches or nothing. It was like, wow, it was like taking the best pain medicine in the world.
I remember my mom was with my dad at some concert at the Hollywood Bowl a couple of months ago, like a month or two ago, and she like sends me a photo and like some old people Motown concert or something like that. I'm like, that's great, have fun, bye. And then my mom texts me like, I smell weed. I smell more weed. I'm like, I can't do nothing about it. And I'm just sitting there like, why is she texting me that people are smoking weed out there? It ain't like I can do anything. Is she like happy that she's getting the munchies, or is she annoyed she's getting the munchies, or what the heck's going on? I'm like, why the heck are you texting me about people smoking weed? Because I want to tell you. I'm like, I don't care. You're at a concert.
I see Daniel's in the house. How you doing, Daniel?
What's up, Daniel?
He pops in right as the stream is just nose diving into oblivion.
Right as I'm really starting to lose it, Daniel's got to pop in.
Daniel's got to come in and learn about Jimmy getting high on secondhand smoke.
I've in the 26 years that I've been living, I have not gotten high on secondhand smoke yet.
I have once, and that was I've been around it at all the concerts I went to, but that was the only time I ever got high from it.
I mean, I've smelled weed smoke before, don't get me wrong, but it was definitely like you smelled it, but it wasn't like in any kind of concentration that was going to be like, oh, I'm starting to feel the effects of this. You know, you smell it and it's like, oh, it's weed smoke and that's it. You know.
Chris, say your viewers are actually at a peak right now. He's right. We got more people watching now than we have all night.
I think everybody came in to watch me like completely lose it on the live stream because supposedly it's funny.
Maybe we should start talking about weed more often. Next week's stream is going to be about. Actually, from next week, I will be in Colorado. So,
hey, whatever you decide to do on your channel, totally up to you. I'm leaving it there. Or as a buddy of mine on YouTube says, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
They did some pretty freaky stuff, though.
Yes, thank you, JC. Say it like it is. Let's see, we've got How I Do It in there. We got Daniel Nore and 3D Kid. What's up, guys?
How you guys doing? Thank you for joining.
Why don't you go pull out that little bus that you made up that you're like always playing around with before the stream starts? Because Daniel's on.
There we go, Daniel.
Yeah.
There
Show what you're doing. Show him what you're doing before, Jimmy. It's okay.
It's my Daniel right there. It's my favorite print. Well, next to the Joel, I got a Joel print somewhere in the house. Daniel just hit the unsub button instantly right then.
You just hit the unsub and the block all button.
Probably a restraining order coming too. Colorado cookies with Jimmy and C-Dub. Alex says 3D print a joint case. Interesting, you should bring that up. I actually have a family member who asked me to 3D print a cigarette case for his Lucy's.
Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just like print them up in herb grinder as well?
I might as well, right?
My old boss actually made some really sweet herb grinders a while ago out of aluminum. I have to admit, they were pretty stinking sweet.
Jimmy, you need to print the hairy mat. I don't even know what the hairy mat's going to be, but it doesn't sound good.
Is there seriously a hairy Joel model? No. No, you have to come up with a hairy C Dub model.
There should be a hairy Daniel Nore model. I think that, especially for down here for this epic beard, for the hair, that would be stinking awesome.
They still need to make a hairy C Dub because, you know, I got all this up in here and ain't nobody modeled that, and that's just a crime against humanity right there. Horrible, horrible people that they have not made a 3D printable bust of me. I am so offended. I just can't believe it. You know, me with all 711 of my subscribers to the last of my knowledge, and I don't have a 3D printable head with furry hair. That is just so wrong. Horrible. I'm kidding. I'm totally playing into all that. It's perfectly fine.
If you're this bad, so we hate to see how you are after a few lifesavers.
Maybe part of my problem is I drank one of these this morning over at school. I'll leave it at that. It only has how much caffeine? Only 68 milligrams per container, so it's not horrid.
Okay, on the list of ingredients, where is caffeine the first one?
On the list of ingredients? No, water's the first one.
What's the second
Water,
one?
HFCS,
What the world's that?
high fructose corn syrup. You know, the good stuff.
Okay.
Then it's white grape juice concentrate, coconut water concentrate, citric acid, some flavor protector, natural flavor, potassium flavor protector, ascorbic acid, gum arabic, caffeine, and then some other like vitamin E crap. No, caffeine's not the first ingredient, Jimmy.
How I do it? Oh crap! It can't. Damn you, Jimmy.
This is like our worst live stream yet. If we thought all the other times where I was toasted was bad, that ain't nothing.
Rick says you should get Sparky Face 5 to do a bust of you.
That would be funny. She should totally do the one of me holding the coin though, because that one's epic.
Oh, Calvin, you about ready to call it?
I think we should. I'm seriously crashing very quickly here, and it's ugly.
I still gotta do some packing and everything. I'm leaving tomorrow around noon. Well, so I'm kind of gathering some stuff up. Found my microphone from Maker Faire. I'm gonna take that with me along with my Tascam. And
are you gonna bring the i3 with you? Because honestly, I really think you should.
What's that?
I think if you have space in the car, you should totally throw the i3, the whatever i3 printer it is that you have, bring it along with you. Because honestly, I'll put it this way: every single time that I've traveled and I've not had my 3D printer, I've always regretted it. So I mean, it's just a suggestion. But since you're going to be gone that long, you might as well, because let's face it, you're either going to want to make something, or somebody in the family is going to want something, or if anything, you can show it off to the family and show it to them in person. And it's cool because, believe me, a lot of people love seeing stuff in person in operation. So obviously it's totally your decision if you decide to take it along with you or not. But if you have the space, just bring it and roll a filament. That's my suggestion. You know.
Okay, so how I do it says it was supposed to be DM, not damn. I thought he's cussing me out. I'm like, okay.
Daniel's like, but I just got here. Yeah, crap. You can just like watch the previous like hour and a half of just horribleness that happened beforehand.
Daniel says, but I just got here.
Rick says, take the smalls. There we go.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, okay, whatever you do, if you have the space, bring some kind of printer along. You will thank me in the long run, I think.
Yeah.
And I speak from experience on that one. Trust me.
Hey, if anything, we need to go for another hour.
Oh heck no!
Drink
Jimmy's got to be on the road. Jimmy's got to be on the road in 12 hours. What are we gonna do? A live stream of Jimmy packing his minivan? And then I'm putting my shirts right here, the suitcase right here, the printer right here, and see y'all later.
Oh, come on, Alex. It was more than 5 minutes. It was a good half hour, maybe 45 minutes.
Hey, what's up, Georgie?
Hey, George. George at the jungle.
It's late. I can't do anything right. Oh, what a night. This was like the worst live stream yet. I die, my phone falls over. Daniel Noré is all annoyed that we're going to end the stream because he came in late, you know.
Alex says, okay, 15, then Tang. Tang!
And Cactus Cooler and molasses and putting sugary stuff on my printer and how it's going to hate it. You know, all that good stuff. Yeah, it was great. My sub count is probably going to so drop after this. Wait, let me fire up Social Blade and see what it's at right now.
How I do it? You guys need to go to bed. I retract my agreement with Daniel.
Go to bed? What's that mean? Lie in bed for 3 hours anxious, going, "Oh no, it's gonna happen."
Rick, what's wrong with Tang?
Nothing.
George, stay up till 2 a.m. I am going to stay up till 2 a.m. That's about my bedtime.
Wow, surprisingly, nothing has happened yet on Social Blade, knock on wood. I am waiting for it either to crash or climb because of some stupid thing that I said.
Jimmy's gone purple again. George says he's proud of me. Is it proud of me or proud of Calvin?
How I do it says it's 2:39 here. I really should be in bed, but it's more entertaining to watch this streaming. Is it because I'm acting like an idiot? Jimmy's laughing at me like an idiot, or just because our show always dissolves into us acting like idiots within the first 5 minutes?
George says you decide. He's proud of you, Calvin. He's proud of you.
No, you won't want to be proud of me. Oh, man.
So what was the name of that hamburger you had the other day?
The Bonsai Burger at Red Robin.
Bonsai. Okay.
My only quibble, though, it was a good burger. It's just their Caesar salad dressing was saltier than the ocean.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like crazy salty.
Then here I am over there with that stuff sprinkling all over my hamburger and on my fries.
Don't get me wrong. I really appreciated it, and it was a good hamburger. It was just, I was a little bit disappointed with the salad, but hey, didn't know. I just didn't want to fill up on fries because I know myself. How salty is the ocean? Oh, it's very salty. Don't worry. I ingested lots of ocean water in all my ocean filming videos, especially the one where I got slammed by the wave, according to Jimmy.
You did get slammed. You got
slammed.
It's like
it was so bad. Here, I'll post up the video to it so you guys can enjoy me getting slammed by the ocean. Boom. Enjoy. I still have to say, though, that is probably the worst filming conditions I've ever been in the ocean in. Although, ironically, when I lost my camera, it was relatively calm. Go figure. I think I've kind of figured out what probably happened, though, when I lost the camera, is I probably had my thumbs like an idiot up against the camera and inadvertently probably pushed against it just enough to release the clip. And I'm 99% sure that's how I ended up losing the camera, because it's the only logical way that it came out of the snap mount, which was it was a little bit loose on, and that is the most plausible explanation for how I managed to lose the camera, just in like not even heavy wave action, because that thing had seen Danielle literally plunging into waves and being pushed by waves. I mean, that thing had seen a ton of force, and then it just goes boom and falls out in like practically calm conditions. So I think that's how I ended up losing it. But lesson learned: use the strap.
Was it calm conditions, or was it when that wave slapped you?
It was calm conditions. I had the camera in front of me like this under the water, so it was ahead of me, but I was intentionally holding my breath, filming waves going above me. So I just felt a very little push by the wave because I was intentionally staying underneath them. So if that makes sense.
How I do it says, Calvin, check your Twitter DM.
Is it the Hairy Matt by Repcord? Let me post the link in the chat for anybody who wants it. That thing is almost creepy, but it's kind of cool.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's like it's a bald dude's head with a big old beard that you can play with. Later, Rick. Thanks for dropping in for our randomness, dude, and enjoy enjoy your wife's cactus cooler.
Take care, Rick. Thank you for joining.
That thing just looks like something out of a horror movie. No offense to the person who designed it. It's just when you look at the file until you realize the way it works, it looks like some horror torture movie thing. But it's seriously cool, though. Don't get me wrong.
So Ripcord did make it, made it for him.
That is cool.
George says, "Wait till your live video hits 1 million views." You know, I just kind of laughed at it, and then I started looking at the stats. I think it was yesterday, and I'm starting to think it might actually happen.
I'll put it this way: given enough time, any video will hit X number of views. It's just how long does it take to achieve that? It could be an infinite amount of time.
This one won't. YouTube's going to take this one, throw it in the trash can, and throw fire on it.
And no fireballs are going to come in and save it.
No. In the hole.
Okay, I had thought of something that would be really funny to do as a joke for with the fireballs would be to get that really disgusting fireball cinnamon whiskey stuff, put it into a styrofoam ball and label it, quote, fireball, put it above the printer and watch what happens, which would be pretty much nothing.
Hey, Chris is taking off. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. And I'll definitely have fun. I'll be talking to you soon.
Have a good one, Chris. Go back to work. Go do amazing things. But yeah, that would be hilarious to do just for comedy's sake. Call it the, quote, fireball. Even though I've seen videos where people have tried to light stuff on fire and there's just not enough alcohol content to make it work. It'd still be funny to do if we felt like it, but it'd make a sticky mess afterwards is all.
Oh, well.
That's what the garden hose is for.
Yeah, exactly. Or the C-Dub fire killer.
When you get back, we totally have to work on putting together that video when we have time.
Yeah, we do.
That's going to be fun. Although I am debating still, I'm 50-50 if I want to do it or not. Pick up like one of those fake fireman costumes that you can get at like Halloween stores and stuff. And then part of me is like, I'm just going to use the thing once and probably never use it again, so I don't know if it's really worth buying it or not.
George is watching YouTube on 2 different pages. You're as bad as I am.
Oh, man. Well, do you want to call it? I'm literally like crashing right now, and you got to pack for your trip.
Yeah, got to start getting around, gathering up everything I can gather up here. So,
gather up the smalls and the power supply and the roll of filament and the laptop and the camera and the task cam and the microphone and maybe some clothing, and you're good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, actually I have planned that I'm going to try meeting up with two of our friends on the way through.
See, if it happens, you can have them sign the smalls.
So do you know who I'm going to meet up with?
Yeah, you'd mentioned it before. Do you want me to say?
Go for it.
So Jimmy's hoping tentatively to meet up with a 3D printing professor in somewhere in Utah, and then on his way back, meet up with the birthday boy, as of currently when we're doing the stream, Jeff from Print 3D. And you guys should try, if you do get to meet up with him, you guys should try doing like a guest spot on his Print 365 show. That'd be cool if time allowed.
Nah, I won't probably won't have time to do that, but I want to at least grab a bite to eat with him.
Sounds like a plan.
How I do it says, see guys, sorry I didn't catch the first 5 minutes before the decline. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
Thanks
Looks
for
like
swinging
Alex
by.
is out. Have a good one, Alex.
Everybody's dropping like flies right now. Oh, crap.
Okay, Calvin. Well, you have a good one, and we'll talk this weekend, see how things are panning out for a stream for Tuesday.
Sounds good for me. Oh, yeah, totally. That's totally doable. He'll just drive to Sweden, Daniel. Totally is going to do that.
Hey, as soon as they put that bridge in, I'll be more than happy to.
Can I hitchhike along?
Yeah, you can. We need, you know what? We need to go ahead and get our. Do you have a what do you call it?
Passport?
Passport?
Not yet, but I need to work on it. My mom keeps pressuring me to get one, and I'm finally starting to see the light.
Yeah, I think I need to get a passport too.
One thing
I
that
need to go to Sweden.
Same here. Hey, I'll put it this way: you'd make a good traveling buddy. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
But the other thing is, my mom and sister both have the TSA pre-global entry thing.
Really?
Get it? Yeah. You pretty much get to. They can still stop you and ask you questions and stuff, but generally speaking, you get to just fly through customs wherever you go. I mean, it's still up to the discretion of the customs officer if they're going to stop you and question you or not, but usually it's pretty simple, like, what are you doing here? Have a great day, and off you go.
Yeah.
Which sure beats standing in a line forever behind everybody else who doesn't know what they're doing. You know, you still got to declare everything and go through all that stuff, but it kind of puts you in the expedited line, which isn't a bad idea, especially if you have to make a connecting flight somewhere, or you just don't want to spend 4 hours in a line behind a bunch of cranky people, that whole thing.
Right.
So, you know, just a suggestion.
I've never flown before, so.
Okay, yeah, we need to fix that as well as you, like, never riding on the subway.
I know.
Dude, no. Okay, now I don't feel so bad for, like, not knowing certain things in life. Okay, I feel better.
You gotta realize I was actually a very sheltered kid.
Hey, I was too, but I got to do a lot of crazy stuff, so I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, there's different, you know, whatever.
It was Beth that corrupted me, you know.
I totally don't see that being the case, but okay. Your wife's like super quiet and everything, and you're like Mr. Outgoing, and you're like, no, really, we used to be the opposite of that. And I'm like, the heck? But I trust you. I trust you, you know. Maybe you guys are different when nobody's around, and that's totally cool. You know. But I will say your wife is awesome, and you married a very sweet person.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, my friend, you have a good night. Thank you most of all. You guys make everything. I'll make this all worthwhile. That's for sure.
Oh heck yeah! Makes it worth me acting like a bimbo.
Acting like my bimbo? What?
Oh man, I gotta eat some food.
The stream is just going boom.
We are really gonna have to pull it up next time if we have another stream.
Yes,
this was just awful.
Thank you guys for joining. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.